So Coach Norvell talked about getting some good competition behind Jordan.
Yep.
What have you seen from? Can you already see those guys starting to compete amongst themselves?
I think all those guys are starting to push each other. It is a healthy competition in that room. They all bring something a little bit different to the table. You get a guy like Tate that has a little bit more reps under his belt than AJ, and then obviously Brock. AJ is going to start to get some of those reps too, just as Coach alluded to this spring. And then you got a guy like Brock that he's at least so far from what we've seen, he is what we thought he was. He's a competitive, tough, hardworking kid, and that's what you want in that room. Those are the type of guys that you want behind center. So it'll be fun.
Brock seemed confident when we spoke to him about a month ago.
Sure.
But then when you actually see him doing the tour of duty stuff, it's like it's not false confidence. I mean,
he's got some of that natural quarterback moxie, that leadership to him. But I think what gives Brock confidence is that he knows that he's going to work. He knows that's who he is. And so at the end of the day, I mean, it's just like with preparation going into a game. If you've prepared to the best of your abilities, you're going to be extremely confident regardless of the situation that you're put in. And I think Brock approaches even a workout that way. He knows that he's going to work his butt off, and that gives him the confidence that he's going to be able to go out and execute.
How far have you seen Tate come from when he probably was fourth maybe on the depth chart at one point, and just carrying himself now as a guy who's played in one game?
Right. I think the added repetitions help. I mean, nothing helps confidence more than going out and doing it over and over again. And then whether it's having success or experiencing some failures or some tough times and then bouncing back and having success. And I think you've seen that from Tate. I mean, just look at the Louisville game, for example. He comes in, it doesn't start that great for him, but the way that he finished and responded, I mean, that gives him confidence. That gives the guys around him confidence that he can go in and execute and do it.
And AJ's a guy, I'm sure his whole life he's had success. And he comes in here last year and he's got to learn the whole offense. Right. And I'm sure there were some tough days for him. How did he handle that?
It's just, I think as he went through it, you see the maturity come out that Coach alluded to earlier. I mean, he learned better learned how to bring a meeting to individual, to group work, to live settings. He learned how to communicate back and forth with it. I mean, the high school game and the college game is very, very different. And I'm not discounting any high school coaches or scheme or anything like that. AJ's dad is actually a really good high school coach, a really good coach in general. But there's differences, and there's that learning curve, both speed-wise, the physical part of it, it's faster than he's ever experienced before, and then the volume of what we put on his plate. And I think the added reps for age as we go into the spring, that's going to help his growth tremendously.
I ask about, you probably talked about this, I'm sorry if you
did.
With Jordan, I mean, having a mature quarterback coming back again, and he's done so much so far. Obviously, there's still room for improvement, but what would you want to see out of him, maybe outside the physical stuff, outside of on the field? What would you want to see from him, maybe in the quarterback room that he can help?
Sure. I think Jordan does a great job of leading in a way that's most natural to him. We talk about that in our room a good bit. I mean, everybody's a little bit different. Jordan's going to lead different than the way that Tate, AJ, or Brock does, or even DMAC. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, continuing to lead those guys and bring them along and help that room continue to grow and develop. And then I know you said not necessarily the physical part, but I mean, even physically, just the consistency of the fundamentals. I mean, you saw growth last year in areas that we wanted him to improve in. But you look back, you go through a season's worth of self-scout, and you're always going to find areas of the game where, hey, if we do this way, it's going to be better. Like, it'll be a little bit better. And so, I mean, just the consistency in that approach, and he's done a great job right now at this point in the offseason, whether it's been in meetings or walkthrough, just the detail that he's shown, and he's done it on a consistent basis.
And even keel as he is, kind of is.
Oh, yeah.
And then you throw that Heisman campaign kind of thrown on him about it. I mean, how do you keep him kind of, he's already level-headed, but do you have to do anything to keep him level-headed when it comes to that?
Absolutely not. He's as mature as you would think a guy that as at his point in the career can be. He is about the success of his teammates in this program, which I think is extremely unique, especially in today's day and age. All these, I mean, you get some accolades thrown at you. It's easy to get a big head and want it to be about you, but he truly would prefer to deflect that and make it about his team, because ultimately he knows too, our team success is going to be hand in hand with his individual success. And that's not why he wants our team to be successful, but at the same time, I mean, it goes together.
me to ask you about somebody else that came